Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nora. If you are new and if you are not, welcome back. We're gonna be jumping right in because I am really excited about today's video. Today we're doing another installment of what's in my cart. We are talking about a store, a brand that we have done before, COS. I wanted to bring this back and talk about COS right now, specifically after watching their recent fashion show at New York Fashion Week. And let me tell you something. One, I loved the fact that they showed current season. So if you're not familiar, most brands that were showing at like New York Fashion Week, they were showing their spring summer collection for 2026. COS actually showed items from their current autumn, winter, fall, winter collection for 2025. So it was giving pieces we can actually shop. It was giving pieces that are actually in store and available online. And I loved it. Okay, that show from top to bottom, 10 out of 10, exquisite, absolutely exciting. So of course, after watching the show, I went right to the website and was like, okay, what is it giving? What do we love? So I figured let's do another one of these videos. Of course, as always, I will have images here on screen of the items that I'm talking about. I will also mention too, if any of them were specifically featured or shared on the Runway, because most of the Runway pieces are definitely all online, but their entire like new in section right now for autumn winter was not all debuted on the Runway, if that makes sense. So I'll try to make sure to highlight that throughout the video. But without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, y'all, we're gonna try to make this one quick, straight to the point. Y'all know I get a little bit passionate when I get to talking about like items, what I'm picking up, what's in my cart, all that good stuff, especially when it comes to cost. I have a tendency to kind of get a little bit long-winded, right? So we have 10 items. Y'all know I always have my handy dandy cell phone here. Try to have like a little mixed variety of items, but again, true to like things I actually would buy. I have to say their new in autumn winter selection is massive. There were like over 1,000 items, honestly, I think, for COS. So definitely still, you know, a high street, fast fashion brand, maybe not as fast as some of the other ones, but they had a lot of items on there. I did go through all of them and curated a list of the top 10 that kind of stuck out to me, and again, things that I added to my cart. So we're gonna start off pretty strong with actually, I think the only accessory, the only like accessory that I added to my cart, but she's good, she's yummy. It is this mini croc bag. It's like a faux croc embossed leather bag. Well, actually, I'm assuming it's faux leather just because of the price, but not quite sure. In this gorgeous deep chocolate brown. Love this color brown, of course, for the fall, winter season, but baby, this is something I would reach for all the time. They had a couple different renditions of this bag on their site. They did have like a larger, almost like envelope clutch looking type of purse as well that I really enjoyed, but something about the mini size of this bag I really appreciate. Yes, they call it mini, but it's not like super tiny. You can actually fit things in it. And then I love that it has kind of this like portfolio folio shape, which I really enjoy. You can hold it kind of top handle just through that little like cutout, but it also does have a crossbody strap as well that you could obviously wear it crossbody. I would most likely be wearing it kind of just like top handle, you know, type of style. But I love this, honestly. I love the croc embossed. I love having a little bit of that texture, a little bit of that animal print for the fall season. This is definitely a color that I think will do wonders in your wardrobe. And then of course can transition really nicely into the winter months. Not the cheapest, and I feel like if you've been watching these videos for a while, if you are familiar with COS, you would know this already, but if you're not, I would still say they are a high street brand, so not luxury. They would be for me like right above your Zara's and your H&M. Similar styles, very minimalist, very sleek, very chic, timeless pieces, but a little pricey. So $189 for the bag, which I don't think is terrible. I actually own a couple purses from COS and the quality is phenomenal. So I feel like $189 is something that I would definitely spend on this bag, seeing as how I have luxury purses in my closet that like I have spent thousands of dollars on. So love that for me. All right, the second item that I added to my cart is called the boiled wool midi dress. Maybe I don't know what they mean by boiled. Maybe it's something that they actually did to the fabric and the material for this dress, but I loved her. Now in that first screenshot, as you can see, it's just like a flat lay of the item. not much giving, right? It wasn't really giving much, but as I was scrolling, looking through, and then saw it on the model, I was like, oh, I love this. I love this because I think this is such a versatile piece. Of course, you could wear it just like how the model's wearing it with nothing underneath. Love a little bit of like this deep plunge neckline. So for like a day like today in Boston where it is fall, but it's like almost 80 degrees. Granted, this does have wool in it, so it might be a little bit warm, but like you could get away with it on a day like this today where it's pretty nice outside, but you could also layer this. So I could see this with the turtleneck underneath. I could see it with the long sleeve. I could obviously see you doing a super long trench, leather trench over top. I could see this with flats, kind of like they did, sandals, a strappy heel. A boot is probably how I would style it, baby. I would probably do a boot. I'd probably do like a turtleneck underneath and then like a lot of like chunky jewelry, which I think would be really, really fun. I love this. I just think it's like, again, a very simple, sleek design, but it's different. I don't own anything like this in my closet. Love that little pocket detail up front. Will I actually use it? Probably not, because I don't think I'd like things like weighing down the dress, but you do have a pocket there up front. So they call this their color. This is the gray melange, and then it looks like it also comes in a brown color as well. I did add the gray one to my cart. Picked this up in a size small. Looking at it, I feel like it'll fit pretty nicely. Honestly, it looks like it's oversized already. And this one is priced at $149. So love this. They also have this on the site in a mini, which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of going back and forth on because I am not the tallest. So I feel like I could style the mini as well, but something about the midi I thought just could be really, really cool for fall and winter. But if you are someone who prefers a mini version of this, they do offer it on the site. All right, so these next two items I'm going to talk about and mention together. They're not a set, but that's how they were styled on the site. And seeing them styled like this, I added both of them to cart immediately. And it should come as no surprise because of course the color, y'all know, my favorite color. So the first item is their chunky funnel neck wool sweater. Loving wool. Wool, I feel like, is a material I do not mind investing in because it is good quality material. It is going to last. It is going to wear very well. Some places I find don't really do wool that great. It can get really, really itchy, but I'm thinking back to some of the pieces I have from Cost. I feel like they weren't really itchy. Sometimes they do have like a lining on the inside, or they do kind of similar to that midi dress, a little bit more of a wool blend, so it's still comfortable, but it's going to keep you warm. Again, it's going to be something that you could take into later fall months and also into winter as well. Love me a good chunky sweater. I love me a good funnel neck sweater as well. Like, I love anything that kind of comes up kind of high. I know for some people they don't like that. I really enjoy that. I know right now we are into funnel neck in general. It seems to be all the rage for the fall season, and we're seeing it a lot in jackets. So you are definitely going to see it with sweaters as well. They do offer this in 2 different colors, but of course I picked up the green because that's the one I want. That's the one I would be leaning towards. And honestly, I have a lot of like tan, beige, ecru sweaters already, so the dark green will actually fill a gap for me. I did pick this up in a size small. Again, just kind of looking at it, it looks fairly oversized already. I believe the model in the picture they mentioned in the description is wearing a small. So I picked that one up. Love how they kind of like scrunch up the sleeves. You could do like a nice little front tuck, obviously let it hang, style it so many different ways. And when I did see it styled on the model, they styled it with these stunning relaxed wool blend wide leg pants. Everything in that title I am there for. Relaxed fit, okay, great. So it's gonna look tailored, but it's gonna be comfortable. Y'all know I love an oversized trouser when I don't wanna always gravitate to sweats or anything like that. Wool blend, so again, good quality, definitely gonna keep you warm. And then she wide leg girl, so I could definitely style this with a lot of different shoes. You could do a flat sneaker, you could do a ballet flat, I could do a heel, I could do a boot. You could honestly style this with anything. I believe this comes in like 4 different colors, so lots of options here on the site. And I feel like the colors, honestly, there's something for everyone. I grabbed the dark green. This item, I'm not even gonna hold you, she's already been purchased. She's already been ordered. She's actually already been shipped. So I will keep y'all posted when I get her in. I picked it up in a size 6 because I believe these are in 0246, and the model had it on in a size 6. And just kind of looking at it, I thought I like the fit. These are a kind of pant that I will usually go up. Traditionally it costs, I pick up a size 4, but I liked the way the 6 kind of sat on the model. They were a little bit longer, and I prefer my trousers to be a little bit longer, and then of course tailor them if needed. The trousers are $189. I don't know if I mentioned the price on the sweater. The sweater was $149. So I don't think terrible prices. Honestly, I don't think they're terrible prices. Again, if you are getting good quality items, I love the fact that they do have a little bit, you know, of wool in the composition as well, which again, I know they'll hold up really, really well. All right, so our next 2 items are actually runway items. So again, these were items that were actually featured in the autumn winter recent fashion show at New York Fashion Week. Yes, all of these items are in the new in section on Costa's site, but again, not everything was actually on the runway. But I do have 2 items that, baby, when I saw them coming down that runway, I said, yeah, girl, add to cart. She is for me. First up is this draped checked midi skirt. Now, I have to say, I actually loved the way this was styled on the runway, because they did this in this like matching set that was all of this same checked print. So there was like a mesh turtleneck. I think it's like a wool type of texture, I think is what I saw on the website. But they did a long sleeve turtleneck, the skirt, and then baby, there was a bag. When I saw this entire set, I was like, oh, I love this. I love this. But I did have to check myself and say, do I love it because I just like the way that it looks coming down the, you know, the runway on the model, the movement, or would I actually wear all 3 of these pieces? So I kind of took a step back and decided I would just add the skirt for now. I might go back and get the other items because they're all available again on the site. But I love this skirt. Loved that they did kind of like this bunching drape detail there in the front. So again, creates some nice little movement. Not only do you obviously have a lot of the busyness of the print, which I know for some people, this is not gonna be for everyone. I already know some people are not gonna like this. It's very much giving picnic, right? It's giving like little blanket outside for picnic, but I love it. I'm here for it. I think it's gorgeous. Love the colors, love the thicker waistband detail. And then again, I like that it is a midi length. So this is something for me, definitely in the fall. I would pair most likely with some like knee-high boots, a thigh-high boot. Could even do this with an ankle boot. I think that's what they did on the model, but I'd probably lean to this with boots, but could definitely style this with just like a stiletto pump or even a strappy heel. And then I'd probably just do maybe like a bodysuit. I could probably do a turtleneck sweater, a couple different ways that you could style this. So really, really love this. And I have to say too, I'm pretty happy with the price tag. I feel like for a runway piece, again, cost obviously is more ready to wear, that is attainable and more affordable, but $169 I thought was a really, really, really good price. I did pick this up in a small. I'll be curious to see how it fits because I do still want it to give that draped effect. So I'm kind of curious. I'm not too sure if the small will fit too well, and then we might have to go up a size. Now, I didn't even realize that the second runway item that I added to my cart was actually another skirt as well. But I love skirts, and I actually noticed that I don't have a lot of skirts that are good for the cooler months, so like fall and winter. I do have a lot of skirts that I can wear in the summer, a lot of like satin slip skirts. Some of them can transition a little bit into the fall, but I don't have a ton. So when I saw this sheer maxi skirt, I said, yeah, add her to cart. Along with the wool trousers that I talked about a little bit earlier, I have already purchased this, not gonna lie. I already purchased this because I have a feeling this is going to sell out very, very quickly. I picked it up in the color Stone. I believe this is actually the only color they have in it as of right now, but I love this. I loved the length on this skirt. I find a lot of times when I see sheer skirts, they don't really do them maxi. And for the way that I would want to style this, I would want it as a maxi. I want it on the ground. I'm okay with it to even be dragging. We'll tailor her, okay? So that was 1. 2, love the color Stone. I think this is gonna be so much fun to play with, again, in the fall and the winter. I just love this. I just love the kind of like simplicity of the skirt. I do like that it has a little bit more of like this ruffle finish hem around the bottom. Again, seeing it come down the runway, I probably have like a little like cutout clip here of the video, but on the runway, it was so, so good. And they paired it with this like gray cashmere cardigan, but it was a bodysuit, so you could see like the bottom part of the bodysuit through the skirt, which I honestly loved. I just thought it was stunning. So I would probably do this with like a hot pant underneath, a boy short underneath. You could obviously even do like an oversized blazer that's a little bit longer that covers, and then you just see the sheer skirt kind of poking through. I could even see myself doing this a little bit more edgy, where I would pair the skirt with maybe like a black graphic tee, and then I would do a combat boot with maybe like a moto jacket. I just think you could do so much with this. I'm so excited to get this in. This was priced at $189, so a little pricey, especially for a sheer skirt. Like, it's not giving a lot of material, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see her when she gets in. Like I said, I've already ordered it. I picked it up in a size small, so I will keep y'all posted on how that fits. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about the runway pieces specifically. Of course, with everything I'm mentioning today, let me know if you are interested in anything, but specifically the runway items. What are your thoughts? Let me know. All right, so the next item that I added to my recent cost cart is going to be this stunning brushed cashmere vest. I do not own nearly enough cashmere in my closet, and as someone who lives in New England, in the Boston area, I don't know how. Actually, that's a lie. I do know how, and I do know why, baby. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to afford quality cashmere. And again, now that I'm getting older, I am really pressed and like focused on making sure I am buying things that are great quality, going to last, and are gonna just hold, you know, and stand the test of time in my closet. So cashmere has definitely been something I have been eyeing, a material, quality, fabric, if you will, that I have been focusing on a little bit more. So when I saw this vest, love this. Now it comes in 2 different colors. I added the beige one to my cart. I believe the other one was a gray. I don't have any cashmere, like I said, really in my closet. I definitely don't have any cashmere vests. Love the beige color. I just think it will definitely do a little bit more for my closet. I'm a little curious on sizing here. I did add this to cart in a size medium just because I'm thinking for layering purposes it might make a little bit more sense, but it was a little bit hard to tell on the site. I believe they said the model was wearing a medium as well, but she's most likely taller than me, so just have to kind of see what that looks like. I haven't actually ordered this quite yet because I'm going back and forth on sizing. So if I do get this in, I'll keep y'all posted. I don't know. I'm still, like I said, not too sure on the sizing, but I love this. Pricey indeed. Probably one of the more pricier items I have talked about already in this kind of like haul roundup video. $229. So baby, she's a pretty penny, but she's cashmere. She's cashmere. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is, I don't know if it's 100%, but it's pretty damn close. Like, it's not really like a blend so much. It's got quite a bit of cashmere in this vest, so the price tag definitely reflects that. Next item that I wanted to talk about, and I kind of bunched these two together because they call both of them vest. Very different, very different vest. This next one is called the mock neck utility vest. Again, another item that, like, when I first looked at it on the site and just looking at kind of like that flat lay image, I was like, it's giving utility vest. I mean, you all are absolutely right with the way that you labeled this. I swiped a little bit, and when I saw it on the model and noticed that you could actually cinch the waist and then the higher kind of, again, funnel neck collar, I was sold. I added it to cart. Y'all already know I loved the color, but I just love something about a utility jacket. I like something that looks like, okay, we stole it from like somebody else's wardrobe. So, you know, the workers, the utility folks, the carpenters and all that good stuff, and then made it fashion, made it runway. Love this. So really enjoy this. This is something that I will probably, for the most part, really only wear cinched, but who knows, maybe I wouldn't, but for the most part I think it would primarily be cinched. I love the way that this looks completely zipped up as well. I actually would probably style this more as a top. I don't think I'd wear it like as a jacket. I mean, it depends on how heavy this is. I mean, it doesn't look like it's super heavy. It probably is like a good early fall jacket, maybe even something that you could take into next year for spring. But this is something I would probably wear as a top on its own. I would definitely do this with some like leather pants. I could even see this with a skirt, which could be really cool with some really high like over the knee boots. Could definitely do this with some sheer underneath. There's a lot of different ways that you honestly could style this. Denim, of course, but I really loved this. Love this. I don't really have anything like this in my closet either, and that's another thing that I would say I really enjoy about COS. They are able to give you collections and items and pieces that like are a little bit more than the staple pieces you probably have, right? Like, they are just like elevated basics, elevated classic items that you probably have a rendition of it in your closet, but COS did something a little bit different, a little bit special, a little bit extra and fun that catches your eye. This vest was kind of one of those things. Do I have a jacket that probably looks similar to this, but has sleeves and things? Yes, but it doesn't cinch the same. The neck doesn't look the same. All that good stuff. So this was something that, like I said, I added to my cart. Loved the price on this, $159. I don't think that is bad at all. Again, for something that I could wear multiple ways, jacket, top, layered, multiple seasons, all that good stuff. So $159 in the color khaki, added her to my cart. So there was a lot of outerwear on the site, and there was one coat in particular that stuck out to me. I'm a little bit pickier when it comes to outerwear just because, to be honest, I have a lot. I have a lot of jackets, so I'm a little bit pickier. I'm a little bit more selective in terms of what I would actually be adding to my cart and purchasing, because again, we're trying to be smart, right? We're not just buying things for the sake of buying things. We're making sure we are filling gaps in our closet. I don't really have any like good quality wool coats. I think I have like a wool blend coat that I got a couple years back from H&M, but in terms of like solid quality jacket, I don't have one. So when I saw this oversized double-breasted wool coat, loved it. Most expensive item we are talking about, period, here today. The jacket is $449, so $450. So she's pricey, okay? She's pricey, but she's a wool coat. Again, great quality, double-breasted, which I love. I added to cart in the dark green color. Yes, I did. It does come in two other colors, gray and a black as well, but I love this. I added this to cart in a size medium. I like to pick up my outerwear usually in a size up, just because, again, for layering, sweaters, like that chunky wool sweater that we talked about. I don't want to feel confined and like super bulky, so I like having the room. And even if I'm not wearing something like super chunky underneath, I just like the look of a more oversized jacket anyways. I like the way that it slouches on my frame. They're usually a little bit longer. I prefer a wool coat to be a little bit longer on me as well. So love that. Also love that they showed the option of taking the collar all the way up so that you can really get, again, that funnel neck look, which as a New England girl is very important to me, because there be some of them days in the fall, baby, where it's starting to feel like winter already and you need that neck protection. Okay, she's a Caribbean baby. She's a Caribbean Haitian girl. Cover your neck before you go outside. So loved this jacket, added her to cart. Haven't ordered it quite yet, but definitely something, again, of all these items kind of up there that I'm going to be purchasing pretty soon. All right, and then our last item are a pair of sneakers. And interestingly enough, I talked about this trend style of sneakers in our fall fashion trends video. I wasn't really sold, I wasn't really sure, but I told y'all if I see one that comes out that catches my eye, I had a feeling it was gonna be one of the high street brands, I would probably be interested. COS did one for me. COS did one for me, and I really love these. So they call them their minimal leather sneakers. So they're leather. I don't know if it's all leather, if only portions of the sneak, I'm not quite sure, but I love these. I added them to cart in the cappuccino color, which might be a little bit risky. They might be a little bit risky because obviously they're pretty light, so they could get dirty fairly quickly, but I love these. So this is your low profile sneaker with like that super thin gum bottom at the bottom. I just like this. I really love this. It looks like, you know, a throwback athletic shoe. It very much gives like Nike Cortez kind of feel, Puma Speed Cats. I just like these. I really honestly love them. There's really not much to them, hence why they're called minimal, because they are minimal. But I like that there's not really any logo, there's no branding. It is just a clean, chic, flat sneaker. It does say on the site that this comes in over 8 colors. I didn't actually look through all the others. I did see a green, I think I saw a black as well, but I didn't see the other colors. So probably something there for everyone. I added these to cart in a 7.5, which is like my true size, especially in sneakers. These are $159, which honestly I think is great, especially if it is like genuine leather all around. Again, I'm not too sure, but $159, not bad at all for some sneakers. So finished off my little haul, my little roundup with a low profile sneaker. Who is she? Well, all right, y'all, that is all that I have for today's video. I hope I wasn't talking like too fast, because I noticed at one point, I'm like, girl, you are just so excited to talk about these items that you're chatting, okay? But y'all know I get really passionate and just like excited about fashion and clothes, and especially COS. I was very much inspired after that fashion show, and even more inspired because again, it was current season, which I thought was really cool and a little bit of a change. So let me know down below what you all thought of this video. Is there anything you are shopping? Is there anything I should pull the trigger on? Is there anything I missed? Maybe you browsed the site all over 1,000 items and saw something and you're like, Nora, you need this too. Let me know, okay? Let me know. And as always, let me know if you enjoyed this, if you would like to see another one of these. Who should we talk about? What store should we feature? But other than that, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.